Peace, y'all. Real HD show on the go. Let's go. Whoa. Sing. What up, people? It's the Real HD show, the higher discussion. This is the show on this or any other airways where you will find the good, the bad, the ugly of our culture done and gone over and solved with freedom music as the remedy. How do you get that remedy? Well, you got to tune in 7:30 to 8 o'clock. You got to use you got to use the call letters to get backstage, and then you can rock out with us like we always do. You got to come through, you know. And I'm gonna put those call letters up right now so that everybody could join in because we're getting deep enough to swim in. And that is the Real HD show, the higher discussion. Jump on in, man. We having a high discussion. Just don't look, just don't view. Get involved. Tell us your opinion. Give us your thoughts. We are the Real HD show. But as usual, we go any further. Let's get into this. Like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications so every time the Real HD show comes on, you will see my face. You will get a notification of the show and when it comes on. And you'll be able to rock out with us time we broadcast the Real HD. My name is Vic. I'm the host of the Real HD show. Been doing this for a little bit. And I'm glad to have you here with us. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with us. We are rocking from multiple Facebook channels. We are rocking from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Mobcrush, D-Law Live, Trovo Nation, Be Live. We are all over the place. We are the Real HD show. Don't tell me you can't get it. All you got to do is keyword it, the Real HD show. Please bring 5 people to the Real HD show, courtesy of yourself, and you will receive a 4-day, 3-night vacation, complimentary of Redeem Vacations and the Real HD show. Please, 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 loyal Real HD rebels, go check out Total Package Energy. Mob them, help them, buy from them. Melanated company, real dope brother. Met him, talked with him, had a fantastic rapport. All natural energy solution for that 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock crash that we all get. They got powders, they got juices, they got gels, they got zips, everything you need to bring that energy up to speed. Real HD Show has a sync license fundraiser. If you like what we do and you like our get down, please $ Real HD Show. We do like the kind that jingles, but we rather have the kind that folds. You know what I mean? Those 20s, those 50s, and those 100s. Please be generous, donate. It'll make the Real HD Show be great. And if you've ever dreamed of owning or doing your own show, the Real HD Show is going to have a number. We are going to be a full channel. We're going to go on the Amazon exchange so you can find us anywhere and you can stream us live. We will get off these social media plantations, as it were. And you see the varied shows here. We got sports, we got teen shows, we got music, we got relationships, We got shopping, we got video music, we got cannabis, we got sneakers, we got pets, we got businesses. Yo, if you ever wanted to be on the Real HD Show or dreamed of having your own podcast, please, Vic7 at gmx.com, Vic7 at gmx.com, and we can get it popping. And as usual, we always start our show off with our elders and ancestors blueprint. Why? Because we are standing on the shoulders of greatness. We are standing on the shoulders of greatness. I believe that. I believe you believe that. And sometimes our problems aren't new under the sun. And all we need is a blueprint, a map, a guide, a North Star to show us the way. And we're going to learn the way today. Oh, you're going to learn today. Famous words. Not mine, it's Kevin Hart's, right? So we're going to get started with this video on the Elders and Ancestors Blueprint on the Real HD Show. It's about a brother named Cujo Lewis. Who's Cujo Lewis? You about to find out. Let's get it popping on the Real HD Show. Check it out.
Let's take a look at the life of Cujo Lewis, one of the last survivors of the Clotilda. In 1860, more than 50 years after the United States abolished the international slave trade, the Clotilda sailed into the deep south, where slavery remained an absolute. Skulking through the darkness, Africans who had been captured in the country and sold into slavery were illegally offloaded in Mobile, Alabama. Among them was a member of the Yoruba people of Benin named Oluwale Kasola. Kasola was a son, grandson, a brother, and a friend. Training as a soldier, he had been a member of the Oro Aruba Secret Society. Without warning, his town was attacked. Many were killed, and the rest, including Kasola, were taken prisoner. Kasola soon found himself in a barracoon, a holding prison for those who were to be sold. In a few short weeks, Kasola was headed with 109 other prisoners on board the Clotilda, the 45-day journey. Via the Middle Passage was filled with suffering and humiliation. Once in Mobile, Kasola became property of James Maher and was given the name Cujo. For 5 long years, Cujo was a slave, trolling abroad a steamship by day, living under Maher's house by night. In 1865, when Union soldiers arrived in Mobile, Cujo was freed and claimed the name Lewis. He soon married a woman by the name Abile, who had also survived the crossing on the Clotilda. With the other survivors, they attempted a return to their home in Africa, but unable to raise the needed funds, they remained in Alabama, purchased land from the Mahia family, and founded Africa Town. Africa Town society was developed in homage to their homeland, with a unique system of laws, churches, schools, and even a sheriff. Cujo and Abele had 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl. He worked for years as a shingle maker before being injured and becoming the church sexton. By the early 1920s, nearly all of the survivors of the Clotilda had passed, including his wife Abele, leaving only Cujo Lewis, Sally Smith, and Matilda McCreer. Cujo's story has been featured in a number of articles and books and pictures, and today his legacy lives on in Africa Town. As one of its founders and one of the last survivors of Clotilda, Cujo Lewis died on July 17, 1935, and he was buried at the Plateau Cemetery in Africatown. Although the Clotilda was burned, sunken to destroy evidence, in 2019, its remains were found north of the Mobile Bay Delta. A revelation of identity, history, and truth.
All right, folks, we're back. That was our elders and ancestors blueprint on the Real HD show, and that was about Cujo Lewis. And Cujo Lewis was one of the remaining one of our peoples that were on the slave ship Clotilda. Now, amongst our people, there's debates on whether or not um, slave ships even existed. You got some people talking about that. You have some people in the, um, you know, various communities amongst our melanated folks questioning if even that was a thing. Um, I don't think we have to look any further than that. I don't think we have to look any further than the bravery and courage that that brother showed, and the fact that he wound up in Africa Town um, is powerful, right? You ever heard of Africa Town? I know there's an Afrique Town in Canada, but there's also an Africa Town, and I know a lot of us don't have never ever heard of these things, but these things are out there. These things are existing, and it's the job of the Real HD Show to bring these things to you so they can resonate with you. All right, man. Let us know what you think of this, of our elders and ancestors blueprint. But we are moving on. Put it in the chat. What you think of that? Oh, if you have any ancestors, or not ancestors, but relatives down south, and they are very old, like let's say they're in the 90-year range, or even over 100 years old. There's some still around, and you'll find them in scatter points, right, all over the map. Do they have any, encouraging stories? Do they have any? Are they the griots? Do they have anything to pass down? Do you have any stories that they may have infused you with that you might be able to share with the show, to learn more about our ancestry, to learn more about the paradigms and the plight and the journey of our people? Jump right here on the Real HD Show and let us know. StreamYard.com, YU2ZQIH8T. Yeah, man, we here. Real HD Show. So let's jump into another joint, and you know what it is. We always do our AAT report, healthy, wealthy, and wiser. Let's go.
Greetings. Shea butter, good hydrator. Shea butter, good moisturizer. Shea butter improve the skin barrier. Shea butter can be used as a carrier. No way shea butter can use. Put it on your skin. It can soothe. Also for cuts, or for bruise, even your hair. You choose. I put it on my skin. I put it on my face. Even my lips. I don't mind the taste. It's natural and plant-based. Me no make nature go to waste. Anti-aging, good for the wrinkle. Antibacterial, good for the pimple. Antioxidant, antifungal, a lot of properties, serious bundle. Shea butter, reduce stretch mark. Me see it for myself. I not just talk, and to make it soft, you can add a few drops of essential oil before you start. Try and get the good kind. Organic, unrefined, out of Africa, naturally designed, and it's edible. We talk about that another time. A Medical Monday. Yes, sire.
Yeah, man, everybody's familiar with that shea butter. You can go to any market, you can go to any open market, gig economy market, any type of, you know, um, any type of market, man. Shea butter is everywhere, and it's potent. It's all natural. Sometimes it could get a little cakey, but if, like you said, Maccabee said, you can mix it with a little oil, stir it, it expands. It dissipates a little bit, and you could apply it to the skin. You could apply it to the lips for, like, instead of using those waxy um lip balms and chapstick, you can use shea butter. I've done it myself. Shea butter is like that's like the utility go-to piece. I've even seen people cook with it. You know what I mean? I've seen it be used in mad different flavors. That's all you know. You can use just a little bit. You have you use for it. Let us know on the deal, and you can put it in a comment, and we will put it on the screen, and you can live with us, right? You can rock out with us right here on the Real HD Show. Now, keeping in tune and in line with the AAT report, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wiser, we staying here for a minute. Um, there's news. What just happened? This just happened. Now, scientists want you to eat lab-grown mold to save the environment. Scientists are altering genes in koji mold to create alternatives to real meat. The lab grown moldy meat is intended to be better for the environment. Lab grown meat has been advertised as a way to save the environment, but now scientists are taking it one step further and asking people to eat mold. Researchers at UC Berkeley are using genetic engineering to create proteins and meat substitutes from the genes found in koji mold, which is already used ferment sake, soy sauce, and miso. So you didn't even know that. Now, I'm not saying that's a healthy mold. I'm just saying they're using it for that purpose. I want to finish reading it, so I'm going to make the call letters a ticker. Give me one sec. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, that's not it. Boom. Okay, here we go. The researchers have so far bioengineered the fungi into a patty they fried to resemble the tempeh looking burger. But is this the jump off point for the team? So you gonna eat your mold burger? You let us know, man. Yeah, y'all gonna get into that? There's people eating, Beyond Burgers, veggie burgers, turkey burgers, and still, they eat you know, the go-to, regular ones. What do you think? Would you eat a mole burger if they put that avocado on it and they put that tempeh sauce or that Reuben or whatever flows and flavors you like? Would you take a bite? Is that the meat or the protein sustenance of the future? And now they even say that some mushrooms have fungi and mold within them, and they're edible to a certain degree, cooked at a certain rate, cooked at a certain temperature. Um, I find it very interesting. Food is not finite. I mean, food is not infinite, it's finite. And we all have to, everybody on the planet can't all eat um, unless you grow your food. These um, change around, shipping, distribution chains around. Body remember a couple of months ago when the supply chain was down and you had ships sitting in harbors of major cities because they didn't have ways to get in the trucks and the ships into the harbor, but then to deliver the food to the people. But then miraculously around the holidays, everything got moving again. Things that make you go, yeah, man. So, we just gotta stay vigilant, stay aware, never be scared, but be prepared. So let's continue on that same train, and we're going to get into something that I saw earlier, and I had a clip from um, brother Reza Islam. I'm trying to find it right now, right here. Boom. And in this clip on Twitter, he went off on the Twitter Spaces. So we will head back to that. Hey, peace, Godspeed. What do you think, man? You gonna eat your mole burger, brother? You know what I'm saying? Is that the thing I meant to ask about the mole thing before we jump into Reza Islam? Because he was well, let me continue with the thing. um you got Williams Casting, Bill Gates, right? And he's buying up all that farmland up in Montana and northern, you know, the northern part of the United States, northern part of the United States. And he's farming all this mystery meat, right? And all these mystery farm products out there, right? I try to beat Monsanto at his own game, I guess, right? So, with that being said, do you think this mold meat, as they put it, is one of the things that, old boy is up there farming? And do you trust it? Put it in the chat if you trust it, Um, and what's interesting about it is um, if you don't trust Bill Gates farming food because he supposedly is a tech savvy or tech career specialist, and now he's in the food game, right? And I'm sure he doesn't do it himself. I'm sure he bought it out and he's outsourced it to people who actually farm stuff. Raise livestock, raise food from growing up, but he's producing it, right? Trust Gates to produce your food. I don't know. Is he new? Bill Gates Ratatouille. Bill Gates prime rib. What you talking about, man? You know, chicken cordon bleu by Bill Gates. You down for that? Yeah, man. So we are in the middle of a um we in the middle of a AAT report, the wild, healthy, wealthy, earn wiser for a brand new you. And I put Reza Islam up, real bright brother in the Nation of Islam, officer, and he has a lot of comings and goings on the social media circuit, and he probably is designated by Minister Farrakhan to deal with the youth, the millennials and the Xers. I believe he's a millennial himself, but that brother's swift, right? And he had a lot to say about the China TikTok problem, but he also had a lot to say about vaccines and the food. Yeah, I'll get back with you in a minute. I don't need promotion right now. I'm live on the air, but thank you for your solicitation. Drop a line based on what we're talking about, not just, talking about soliciting on my channel. All right, so we're back. So we're talking about Reza Islam and a lot of bombs that he was dropping about vaccines in the food. And you know, don't love vaccines, you know what I mean? And meaning like do your daily greens by way of vaccines because they're putting them all in the um, vegetables and in the produce. And um, I had a hit earlier about it when I was looking it up. I'll try to find it again. I'll try to find it one more again real quick so I could show it to you and I could have you guys hip to what's going on with that. because I know it was Tennessee that came up with a, let's see. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yay, I love it when a plan comes together. Um, okay, here we go. So I'm gonna share my screen. Peace, bro.
Peace, peace, Vic. How you doing?
I'm doing well, my man. How you tonight, man? Doing well?
I'm hanging in. Yes, sir. I was just doing some errands, but I said, let me, punch in real quick.
Yes, sir. Did you go to the store and get your mole burger, courtesy of Bill Gates and the power elites?
No, sir.
That's what they want you to mess with, man. That's what they want you to rock with, man. You will own nothing and like it, right? Isn't that the saying?
Hey, exactly.
So now I was showing brother Riza Islam. I don't know if you hip to this brother. Um,
Okay.
Nation of
I'm
Islam
hip to
Cap.
him, but I'm not hip to, maybe I'm not hip to something recent, but I'm hip to him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, powerful brother on the West Coast. I believe he's a captain or an administrator in the NOI, and he had a powerful message about them putting vaccines in the food, and they wanted to ban him off of everything smoking. They wanted to ban him off the Power Five social media platforms. They wanted to ban him off of everything popping. And I made some statements about those things. And they tried to ban me off of YouTube as well. They gave me a strike and froze my channel
Wow.
for about maybe 5 days or so. I had to wait, because they considered it misinformation about medical and environmental practices. So that was considered a community strike,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now look what has turned up, and this happens quite often. I'll expose a story, I'll cite my sources, and then something will come through the ethos that's pertinent. Vaccines in the food. This isn't me. This is WSMV4
Oh,
out
man.
of out of Tennessee, right? So YouTube, cool down
Mm-hmm.
your copyright laws and your copyright infringements and your mutes and all of the effery you got popping, because this is legit. This isn't me. I'm coming with receipts. This is vaccines in the food. This is a news station with this expose, right? So they're saying
Wow.
the food will be required to clearly state that it had a vaccine or vaccine material in it. So brother Godspeed, you know how when you read a box of cereal and on the ingredients
Yes.
it'll say this product may contain soy or wheat byproducts,
Mm-hmm.
and they gotta let you know that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or wheat byproducts.
Yes, sir.
You gotta know,
Yes,
because
sir.
back in the day they used to have all type of gum and all type of crap that they was putting in cereal. And then when people got hip, they had to
Yep.
really curb a lot of that, right? So now, and then of
Oh,
course
yeah.
the polyunsaturated fats that a lot of the restaurants was cooking in. A lot of the states, in New York was one of the leading ones, that talked about how they had to curb the polysaturated fats and the cooking oils that they used in restaurants because it was leading to heart disease. So now
Indeed.
in Tennessee, home of the Klan, they're talking
Uh-huh.
about um, the bill would require labels for food with vaccines. Powerful. It says
Wow.
HB 0032, sponsored by Scott Kripnicki. I know I murdered that name. Adds two new restrictions to the current Tennessee Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, which criminalizes adulterating and misbranding food, drugs, devices, or cosmetics. The bill will prohibit manufacturing, delivering, and selling food that contains vaccine material unless it's labeled containing conspicuous notification of the presence of vaccine or vaccine material in the food. Wow. The
They,
bill
they're trying to
defines
they're trying to cripple us. They're trying to cripple us, bro.
this.
Like,
This is so powerful because I remember there was a civil war over this stuff. A civil war, a social civil war, right?
mm,
Are you vaccinated? Are you
mm-hmm,
not vaccinated? You're vaccinated.
mm-hmm,
I'm vaccinated. Everybody's vaccinated. You're not vaccinated.
mm-hmm,
You're giving me the ick.
mm-hmm,
Blah 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 blah. Da, 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 da. Now
mm-hmm,
they're going. So now the jig is up. That's why last week's show was called "The Jig Is Up" because so many things. This Aquarius energy, right? This air
mm-hmm,
energy is bringing everything to bear. You can't hide nothing. Everything coming out.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean?
mm. You ever saw a movie
So
called Soylent Green?
say it again.
You ever saw a movie called Soylent Green?
No, tell us about it.
Uh, yeah, like a little bit I remember. It's an old school movie, bro.
Okay.
I think Charlton Heston was in it.
Okay.
So it was like they were just I can't remember so many parts of it. I got to watch it over again, right? But the general idea is that they were talking about the plants, bro, and everything
Mm,
had all the products. Everything has soy in it. But this was like
mm,
back in the 70s. Like this movie might have been in the 70s. I'd have to
mm-hmm,
Google it up, but the screen might go off, so I don't want to risk it. But I
mm-hmm.
believe it probably was like in the 70s, maybe even the late 60s. They made this movie about plants and food being tampered with, and they were calling it Soylent Green.
Soil
I think
int.
Soylent Green might have been the product.
Oh, I have it on. I have
Soylent
it right here.
Green.
I got it. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna
Uh,
share it for the people. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. Um. Okay. So, what was the base of the movie? Because here they're talking about
yeah, I believe
like
what they're
like there's
saying.
there's people in the food.
Yeah, I know it was something like that because I seen that thing ages ago, but I can't remember everything. But I remember
It
something
was like
messing with your food. But look at
yeah,
the
it was
name,
like
Soylent Green.
right. It was like some sort of like what do you call it? Like some sort of monster or like Little Shop of Horrors type of joint.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was, man. I gotta watch it again. I ain't watched that in a long time.
let me put that up real quick. Let me share my screen so the people can see it and we can get to it. Is that the joint right there, bro? Is that
Yes,
it right?
indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed. That's it right
yeah.
there, brother.
Charlton Heston, right?
That's it. It's a good
Uh-huh.
one. I just hadn't watched it in so long, but that's a good one.
1973 film that envisions the distant future of 2022. It shows the world as heavily populated and heavily polluted. Womp womp. New York City has
Mm,
40 million people. 40 million, damn. Half of
mm,
which are unemployed and poor. Green gas looms all over the world. Chemtrails, ding ding.
mm,
Most of the
mm.
oceans and lands cannot harbor life. Plastics in the oceans. Uh, investigating the murder executive, which makes the food bars. Must uncover the truth behind the company and the food they all eat. And according to the advertisements, I saw some other advertisements for this, and it was like they said there's people in the food.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do
I ain't
you
watched this
remember?
in a long time.
Yeah, do you remember about people in the food?
Yeah, I think there was a situation like that in the movie, but you know what? I hadn't seen it in so long that I gotta, actually I'm gonna end up watching this before the week's over
Yeah,
because
I
I
may
ain't
watch
watching it in
that.
so long.
I may check that out. I love seeing shows and stuff like that, like Contagion and
Hmm.
different movies like that. That kind
Hmm.
of
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. Like remember they live right
yeah, man.
on the glasses, and he was able to see the aliens. And then when he took
Yep.
off the glasses, the aliens looked like real people.
Oh yeah, with Roddy Piper.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. That was
Yes,
a great
sir.
movie too, and it's for its
Sir.
time. You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that was the end of our AAT report. Healthy, wealthier, and wiser for a brand new you, because we all need that cellular power that we were robbed of just so many years ago with that pandemic. Yeah, man. So we are gonna jump right into power to the people news. Wait, what just happened? This just happened. I want to go right to this. Whoa, you hip to that, bro?
Okay. Let me see what they're saying here.
So it says no more police,
Yeah. Well, that's been a conversation.
more crime coming.
Okay.
So
They mean on an official level, or they're just saying the reality of so many cops, retired and so many got hurt that they do have a shortage in police. That's official.
blessings. Yeah, man. No, they're not talking
They
about
coming from
the.
it that they coming from that angle.
Yeah, they come from a different angle. They coming from an angle. I'm about to share my screen now so everybody can see what it is. So this is out of
Okay.
Pittsburgh, right? And it says police say they will no longer respond to calls that are not in progress, emergencies, amid staffing shortages.
Mm,
Pittsburgh police announced this week
mm.
that they will no longer respond to calls that are not in progress emergencies in the early morning hours. Instead, lower priority calls will get sent to the telephone reporting unit. So if you get mugged and you getting that tookus whoop in the alley, ain't nobody showing up for that. You going to the
Mm.
telephone reporting unit, and they gonna take a name and
Wow.
a number, like they looking for a lost bike. You know what I mean, or
Yeah.
a lost pair of roller skates. You know,
Wow.
you know what I
Wow.
mean.
Wow.
Hey, so
Wow.
it says the police, the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police, made changes to its operation as its battle staff and shortages, including no longer responding to in progress emergencies and limiting numbers of officers on the night shift.
Mm.
Uh, the police chief announced in February that during the early and morning hours, there would be fewer officers on staff and lower priority calls would be sent to a telephone reporting unit rather than in person. The chief said that they needed to make changes so seven of his 740 officers can be efficient to serve the community. Now, there's another part of this that I wanted to, that there's a video attached to it, but I can't show a video for everything. So I'll just kind of
Mm.
break it down real quick. From the
Mhm.
hours of, I believe it's 2 in the morning to 7 a.m., there will be no live police in the city of Pittsburgh.
Well, that's gonna be the get busy hours.
Ain't that crazy? Right. And right now they're already purging in certain areas because they know this.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be the get busy hours.
Yeah, man, of course. And then what's interesting about it is present the problem, provide the solution.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Um
Mm-hmm.
oh, didn't you want to defund the police? See what happens when you defund the police?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be careful what you ask for.
Weren't you asking for defund the police? No, we were asking for you to stop killing us in the street. Were you
Exactly.
were, were
Yeah,
you paying
exactly.
attention? Were you paying attention? Were you reading the tea leaves? Did you read the bones? Did are you remedial? We was asking you to stop
Right.
killing us and profiling us and harassing us and brutalize us in the street.
Yeah, shooting people with wallets in their hands.
All of it for
You know,
decades, right?
you
Or
know.
even goes back further than decades, maybe hundreds of years,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
now this is happening all over the country. This is happening in Baltimore, and it's
Mm-hmm.
happening in It's happening also in certain parts of Memphis. So
Mm.
much so that Memphis has a crime problem at night, and guess who's running for mayor of Memphis now? Judge Joe Brown.
Stop it. The
Yeah,
legendary Joe Brown. Stop
Joe
it.
Brown is running for mayor of Memphis. Because make things happen, shake things.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you up. I like Joe Brown. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Jonas official.
I like Joe Brown.
He's old school. I'm not mad at that because
Right.
you gotta like the truth. You gotta like the truth spitters. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
you straight. No chaser. You know what I mean?
I like Joe Brown. I
Yeah,
like him.
man.
It doesn't mean I have to agree with every one of his points, but I like Joe Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna hold you up. You got to do something for me to dislike him. I like him.
Nah. The brother's straight. The brother's straight. He's
Hmm.
got that kind of grandpa soul with him, where
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
I'm gonna give out. I'm gonna bite a rusty nail, but I'm gonna give it to you the right way.
Damn right. Damn
That's
right.
kind of his. That's kind of his.
Yep.
But I'm saying, is this setting the stage for a larger and more abundant dragnet of these major cities as they transition and matriculate into 15-minute cities? Is this going to be the final kind of anarchy or dystopian type of event where if the crime goes to a certain degree, now they can start locking down boroughs. Now they can start locking down districts to keep the order and to, like they even moved the, National Guard into the uh subways in
Right.
New York. You know what I
Yep.
mean? How's
Yep.
that going?
Oh,
Have you been
well,
exposed to that at all or no?
no, I have not. I've been, driving, quite
Okay.
honestly. But
Right.
what I would say to this though, Vic, is that Vic, there's so many cases of subway crime right now. So
Mm,
many cases, man. It's overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like when I do take the subway, yo, man, I'm on guard. I've always been on guard on the subway, always.
mm.
Even
Of
back in
course.
the '90s, in the chilled
Of
out
course.
times when I
Of,
was
of
running
course.
all over the city, going to SOBs, going to SATAs, going to all these different clubs, shoot, I remember making trips out to the Bronx on the subway all by myself, going out to Hunters Point to go to the spot Caller Point to recruit poets to come to Hofstra, to come to Nassau. You know what I'm saying? Like, but things, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's because of social media or if things are really worse than they were back when I was traveling around like that. You know what I mean? I
Mm,
don't know anymore. Sometimes I don't know. I don't know if it was the exact same way back then or not. But I always made sure that I was always on guard when I traveled, even back then. But it just seems like I lean more to the idea that maybe social media, seeing how it highlights every and anything that goes on with everybody with their cell phone cameras and stuff, that it make things seem worse than they were before, and they might have been just the same way. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's kind of like been a kind of a poll I've been running past people in conversations. Do you think that things are worse than than they were back then, or do you think it's just that we have more cameras because not only do all stores got cameras, hallways, but your cell phones got cameras? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I
yeah.
will say this: it is rampant. For whatever, let's just live with what we see. Social media is showing and proving it's rampant out there. You know what I mean? Look, this woman just got tossed onto the tracks, I think a week and a half ago, and she lost her legs.
Right. Right. Yep. Yep.
And all right, and look at this next situation, right? 36-year-old dude started picking on a 32-year-old dude or 30-year-old dude who had a girlfriend. And not only did the 36-year-old start the fight, but the 36-year-old pulled out a gun,
Mm,
pulled out a knife, and then pulled out a gun. And when he pulled out the gun, the younger dude, who was younger than him only by like maybe 6, 7 years,
mm-hmm.
ended up wrestling up with him and popped him.
Mm,
Now, who the hell is wrong? I'm with the guy that didn't have the weapon in the first place.
right. Feel you.
You know?
Feel you. Yeah, man.
I'm like,
Um,
come on, man.
the dude, there's a story about a couple of dudes who got decapitated in the subway by the MS-13 Venezuelan dudes that are in the city.
Right. Right.
That gang,
See,
that Venezuela gang.
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. See what I'm saying? I'm
I
saying
do.
so. I'm saying this. I mean, Vic. I'm saying this. I'm saying this. Right.
Hmm.
Agree with me. Uh, how could I say? Agree with me, love me, disagree with me, hate me, or disagree with me and not be disagreeable. Right. I'm saying that they need to shake it up down there, man, because we tried to leave people on their own recognizance and their own
Hmm.
common sense and their own civility, and they ain't acting accordingly, bro. They're not acting accordingly. They had that stop and frisk nonsense in the city, and we all hated it. We all hated it to bits, right? They
Hmm.
removed it. Look what's been happening. You think the general public would try to show and prove that they don't need that type of policing on top of them, that they could carry on like civilized human beings? Not everybody, but I'm just saying, speaking to the ones who commit these heinous crimes, and then they want to they want you they want to sing a narrative like, oh yeah, mental disabilities. No, screw that. Mental disabilities. I work in that field. All right. And I see 2 to 3 different types of patients come in all the time. I call the first set the nurses patients. Those are the ones you dream about working and helping out. Then you got the real super psychotic types. Now you ain't quite dreaming about them, but you know they're really sick. All right. And then you got the third brand that just do heinous stuff that come to mind and then want to say they're psychotic when they're really not. They just know how to sing the song correctly. All right.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, most of those people that you see doing stuff in the subway, they try to be the third type that do stuff that come to mind and then want to say they're psychotic because they heard a voice tell them to do it or they had some kind of trauma in the past.
Hmm.
Listen, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. One day I looked in the newspaper and it was on a guy who his sister called him in on the cops and tried to tell the cops about him, and they just didn't bother, taking up the tab on him, right? Next thing you know, he's on the train. He's in the train system. He left one person dead underneath where people normally sit at, underneath there, and he injured a bunch of other folk. And they're gonna say, "Yeah, psychotic pass." I'm like, this is
Hmm.
nonsense. Nah. Anybody approach me the wrong way, bro? I don't care. We gonna tussle. We gonna do whatever extreme next, and we'll talk about that later. Sorry.
I feel you. I feel you. Um, I'm trying to find that joint with the MS-13
But I
because
went on my rant, my final
no,
statement on
that's
my
fine,
rant.
bro. No, please,
Yeah,
please. This is good
I'm
stuff. This is
saying I'm saying that it needs a shakeup. Let's see what this does down there now. If this doesn't stop it, then so be it. Then you know what? Call that a fail as well. But they need a shakeup down there, straight up.
yeah, because your neck of the woods, LI, this joint happened to um also with the MS-13 cats, and they also in California. That's where they kind of really kind of plant roots outside of Venezuela.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
2 7
yeah.
heads
So
discovered
you
in the
see,
school
you see.
in New York
Oh
Park
wow.
found a man's arm as
Hmm.
the kids found a man's arm
Jesus,
as cops probed if
Jesus.
MS-13 was involved, and they were involved according to the story. Them
Uh,
dudes,
uh,
that's that chopper. That's that real chopper.
yeah,
Not just you ain't
yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
guns.
yeah.
Them dudes is talking about
Nah, they get busy. They get busy.
machetes and all kinds of equipment
Yeah,
to exact that that gang mafia activity, man.
for real.
And
They cutting heads off like David did Goliath when he hit Goliath with the slingshot,
yeah,
aka gun of its time, and then he cut
mm,
Goliath's head off and walked around the field with it for a little while, then took it to the king. Yeah, they on
right.
that time.
Yeah, man, like Perseus and Medusa, Yeah, for sure.
They on
For,
that
for sure.
time.
For sure. Um, do you remember all of the smash and grab stuff, man?
A
You
little
remember
something.
you remember hearing stories about like maybe in Chicago or even like Florida, California, even some places in New York. They'll go like to these little strip malls and they'll run into the boutique stores. You heard about a lot of it in California on Beverly Hills, where it be a bunch of teenagers or
Hmm.
just young kids with black,
Like
masked
it's
up.
like they bum rushing the store.
Yeah, they blacked up from head to toe, and they bum rush the store, and they steal all the products, and blah 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 blah. And then everybody's, of course, the perp walk, the usual take is all those black kids, all those kids, all those, urban, kids. That's kind of the song and dance. And then in one expose, they proved that the smash and grab was a fraud, but nobody believed it. A cop was rerunning for sheriff, and in certain areas, I believe it was Florida, you have to be voted in as the sheriff, right? So they created this smash and
Mhm.
grab scenario so that he could look like he's tough on crime. You know what I mean?
Oh wow,
So now the new
wow, that's
joint
crazy.
is there was and I don't know if you hip to it, but a couple it might have been last year. It's probably last year. They did the Oakland trains. The trains will come through Oakland, city of Oakland, around like noonish,
Hmm.
and then hordes of people would just come out of
Okay.
nowhere and just rob the train for all of the products that it was bringing into California. You know, video games, flat screen
Wow.
TVs, furniture, clothes, whatever
Wow.
was on that
Wow.
train, whatever retail was coming in, it was like droves of people just ran up on the train and just robbed it. And of course, you know the
Wow.
narrative. Oh, those black people, those thugs, those convicts, those thieves, those murderers, right? Then to come to find out, this right here popped off.
Mm.
California mom, alleged ringleader behind the 18 million retail theft ring that hit over 200 stores. Check check that out.
Wow. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you just put me up. You just put me up on something. She might be the next one on Dateline. Holy crap.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's prime for Dateline. She's prime for Dateline. Wow,
So
she's a
these
Dateline type of
people,
story. Wow.
so these young people were
Hmm.
hired by this person, and I believe her husband was in on it too.
Wow.
So it was like a mass um it was like a mass type of operation,
Mm.
you know,
Mm-mm-mm.
and
Mm.
they were responsible for hitting 200 stores, $18 million in retail theft
Jesus. Wow.
nationwide. Now they're saying, I'm sorry, I didn't read the caption below. California mom is accused of orchestrating a nationwide shoplifting scheme.
Mm.
Nationwide.
Nationwide. Not local.
That's
Nation.
nationwide. Uh-huh.
$58 million.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gee.
Did I say it wrong? Is that 58 million?
Well, yeah, I see
My bad.
58M, so I'm assuming.
Oh no, that's a dollar sign, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's a
I
dollar
see
sign.
you.
Well, I was wrong
Okay.
too. $8 million retail theft ring. But that I know it
Okay.
looks like a five, but that's
It
like
looked like a 5. It looked like a
a
5.
line, a
Okay.
line through the top. Yeah, yeah,
Copy.
yeah, man. But
Wow.
that's enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Just the fact that you would, and it's off the heels of all of the riots and the protests that happened a couple of years before it. So it's
Mm,
believable. You know what I mean?
mm, mm-hmm,
It seems
mm,
typical, seems believable, seems stereotypical. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Very stereotypical. Hey, do me a favor, Godspeed.
Oh, got you.
Oh, yeah, go
Yeah.
out and come back in,
No
and we can
prob.
try to get rid of that little sound.
Copy.
That
Copy.
usually clears it up. Yeah, sound like we got some feedback from something. Yeah, man. So while Godspeed tries to come back in, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of what tonight, what we're here for tonight. You know what I mean? Because we're here for tonight is the great voter hustle. But before we get into that, we're gonna get into this TikTok piece real quick. Because the TikTok of it all, that's new news. So unless you was under a rock or you were like, not paying attention to news, the government has passed banning TikTok in the House. Now, of course, it has to go through the Senate and it has to go through, the executive chamber, and the executive chamber has to vote on it.
That's better, right?
I still hear it.
Okay. Like a sound on your side? Because I'm not hearing it on my side.
Yeah, it's on my side.
Okay, I'll go out again.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it clears up when he kind of goes off. So that might be, he might be too close to something that's giving him a little feedback. Yeah, man. So the TikTok of it all, right? So let's play a video. I'm gonna try to find it. I believe I had it last week. And I was gonna show it to you guys, but I will today. And okay, so let's just do this the organic way. Just give me a second, family. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, it sounds like you're near like something that's broadcasting like some sort of radio signal.
How that sound now?
Are you in like a car or something, bro?
Now, you know what I got? Did you see my Bluetooth earpieces for some reason? And these are Apples. It was giving me a robotic sound in and out. So then I said, let me
Yeah,
switch up and just use a regular headphone with a cord.
yeah,
So
that'll be dope.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
I got now I
Bluetooth
got
never.
yeah.
Yeah, Bluetooth ain't too compatible.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I got the cord in now, so
Nah, the chord is
I can't.
great. I don't hear it.
Okay, okay,
That's
good,
great.
good, good.
Oh wow, it just started again.
Ah, really? Let me see. How's that?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that
Still
sounds
going?
good. Nah,
Okay.
you're good. No, you're good. You're good.
It could be my internet connection too. I don't know. It could be that.
I don't know. It just sounds up. See, it's kind of in and out.
And you know what it is? If I take off this headset, then the volume is so low in my phone that I could barely hear. You
Oh,
know what I
okay.
mean? Yeah, I'm using it in a sense to hear you. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I
Let me.
feel you. All right. So yeah. So
I can hear you. I can hear you.
all right. So we're gonna show this TikTok video. And we're gonna get into a little bit of this TikTok stuff because there's a lot going on with the TikTok piece, and I just want people to be aware of a couple of things that are going on with it that are prevalent to um, government and the free market environment in the United States. And we think that this is something like um, just about national security and national security, potential national security problems, when really it's about something a whole lot deeper. And I'm trying to find where I had it last week. Okay, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go back into March. So you're looking for you're trying to adjust your stuff. I'm trying to adjust mine. Pay it, Wow, I had that joint right in here. No, I can't find it. All right, let me go back out. Let me go back into March. I know it was in there. Yeah, man. Bear with me, family. We're gonna get to it because it's worth it. Because this sister goes off. You guys might have seen this already. If you frequent social media, if you frequent like YouTube or Twitter, you might have seen this piece already. but it's always worth showing because was I just gonna play the video itself? I might have just gonna play the video itself. Okay. Well, let's put the picture up at Auntie Buffy on Black Culture News. So let me join that. Let me jump into Instagram and go there and see if we can find it real quick. I don't see it there. Okay. Well, we'll get to it either way. Let's just get to them. Let's just get to the meat and potatoes of it all. Shall we? Sure. So everybody knows that, well, everybody should know that the government, lawmakers reviewing the bill today, well, last week, that will require TikTok to divest from Chinese based owner ByteDance or be risk of being banned in the United States. Can Congress ban TikTok? Legal experts weigh in. And this sister here, she was talking about some very, salient points about why they shouldn't ban TikTok or why this is kind of a nonsensical move. Now, what do you think, bro? Do you think this is a hysteria uh, blown over into crazy proportions, or do you think this is like a worthwhile endeavor? Do you think this is a TikTok is a national security risk because they have access to people's critical information, vital information, personal information, and they can do things with it from a Chinese perspective?
You know what? That's a good question because I'll keep it real. I figured most people by now would give pseudonyms versus pseudonym type information. I might be making up a whole new term here, but you know, well, quite frankly, false information just to have an account so they can have their little fun on these things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So if you're given, say, like instead of saying you're born 1985 and you put now I'm born 1995, you know what I'm saying? Your name ain't really Jack Brown, but it might be John Brown on there. You know what I mean? Like you maybe you could enlighten me. I'm a little slow behind the ball when it comes to technology a little bit. I'm trying to understand why is that still an issue, you know?
Well,
I thought it was the expression that they had a problem with.
no, what they're saying is that it has over, I think it's uh over 100 million people on TikTok that are
Oh,
Americans, and
okay.
then of course our folks was on TikTok at the very beginning of it because one of the dances that went viral on TikTok in its initial, I guess, christening into the social media spaces was that renegade dance. Remember that young sister created that renegade dance, and then they did it in the NBA All Star game. Dwayne Wade and Shaq brought her on the NBA All Star game. And remember the little
Okay, I
white girls
follow.
was trying
I
to
missed it, but I follow.
yeah, the little white girls was trying to like mimic her dance and was getting money off
Okay.
of it, and the little girl
Oh
wasn't
wow.
receiving any monies off the dance. You know what I mean? So
Oh. Mm.
TikTok got famous off of these little, little girly dances that they were doing, and all the girls were copying, and they got popular amongst the dudes, and the dudes was Kevin Hart was goofing off with it and all that. But now it come down to a point where ByteDance, that is the Asian owner, the Chinese owner, ByteDance, America has given ByteDance 100 days to get rid of China stock in the company because China owns 33% of TikTok, the government. So that's kind of the way they do it there, where the government owns a portion of your
Mm.
business for
Hmm.
I don't know I guess, international marketing type of reasons, and or international, I guess, whatever international means they want to use it for, right? So they have 100.
Mm-hmm.
The government, U.S. government gave ByteDance 100 days to get rid of China stock and sell it to America, so that America can control the data that goes into TikTok. Now that system is some practical um, reasons why, it's still at this point. And I don't understand. Um, the China and Asia has been the biggest exports of commodities over the last 40, 50 years, all over the world, especially America. Everything's made in China, Japan, America. Everything from um, Godspeed. You still with us?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
every
It's funny. I'm like a human antenna, so I'm kind of holding my phone in different areas and different heights to get a good transmission. But I'm here.
oh man, I don't want you to have to do that, bro. Too bad you just can't jump on like a tablet or like a laptop or something.
Okay,
Well,
next time I'll work on
yeah,
that
yeah,
for
yeah,
next time.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No problem.
This,
No
this
problem.
this is so convenient, so that's why I was rocking with this thing always. But you know what? I'll try it out.
So one of my positions, like Aunt Bunny, right, Auntie Bunny, right? My position is TikTok has been in all of our tech over the last 40 years. It's been in our TVs. China has been they've manufactured our radios, our TVs, our computers, um, all of our plastics. If they wanted to violate the people in America and get our info and bug us and track us, that thing would have been done, or it might already be done. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Already or happened, and this is just So in a lot of ways, a lot of people TikTok. If you're thinking about it, a lot from a long standpoint, who stands to benefit most with TikTok going under? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Zuckerberg, right? Because that's
Yes, sir.
TikTok's immediate
Competition.
competition.
Hmm.
Even Twitter to an extent. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, so we're talking antitrust legislation, because if they ban TikTok and uh, media sites, everything you think of Facebook owns, and Meta, all of it, it's all Facebook, right?
Right.
And
That is.
at least TikTok is providing a um, competitive landscape for social media outlets. Number one, and number two, um, TikTok has employed a lot of people. They've given a lot of people
Mm,
platforms to make money.
yes.
So, if you're trying to, like we talked about last week, curtail the economy and bring it under one umbrella under these, CBDCs, right? What better way
Hmm.
to do that than to take away a third or at least a fifth of the market of social media where people can make their money from? What's
Right.
your what's your thought? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, it's like, it's just TikTok is standing in the way of somebody becoming a monopoly, like how the WWF used to look at the ECW and WCW in the wrestling business.
Right.
WWF was like, we're the biggest game in town, we're the only game in the country, and WCW and ECW said no. And guess what? Our product looks completely different to yours, and we're rocking. So there was wars over that until WWF won. You know, but it was a long time. It took like about damn near 30 years for them to win that one. So I would say
Right.
that Facebook and Zuckerberg and them is WWF, and TikTok is ECW.
I like the connection. I like the I
Hmm.
like the I like the contrasting example. That's tight. So Godspeed is right. But another thing to consider is that um in this, you know, the US is down with the WEF, which wants to institute all of this kind of new world policy, right? But China rocks with BRICS, the BRICS nations, right? And they're trying to cripple the dollar. So what does that
Mm-hmm.
mean? That means trade war, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the issue also is if China has its teeth in the tech, which is TikTok, the popular tech space, right?
Mm-hmm.
China also does electric cars better than the United States. They lead in the green industry better than the United States. Solar panels, semiconductors. And here's something that a lot of people aren't talking about. During the pandemic, when everybody was kind of indoors, China was going all over Africa and the Middle East installing 6G towers. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. You're just
There
enlightening
was
me right now.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there was a you could look it up on online. There was like a race to see who was going to get into that untapped territory of the Middle East and Africa and lead the tech space in that regard because you know those that 6G netting is over most industrialized countries, and those are the areas of the world that aren't first world industrialized just yet. You know, they are in ebbs and flows and spots, right? The major
Mm-hmm.
cities, right? But they're not in total, right? So
Mm-hmm.
China, Asia is in a race with the United States to, install these 6G, the 6G expansion in the in the eastern part of the world. And,
Mm.
nobody's really talking about that. So if you can cripple a part of TikTok of China's economy by getting rid of TikTok, which they firmly had their teeth in, the popularism of the United States, the purchasing popularism, which is super powerful. You know what I mean? It's what made rap the billion-dollar global force that it is, that the popularism of American entertainment, right?
Right.
So if you're in a trade war and you want to cripple a competitor who has their teeth firmly sunk into so many areas that they're better than, um,
Mm.
like a matter of fact, there was just an article. I'm not going to put the article up, but there was an article about Elon Musk uh, getting getting his getting his getting them hands put on him by the electric car industry in Asia. They're like
Mm.
leagues ahead of what he's doing. And are you hip to how people
Mm.
are saying how people are really having negative reactions to the Teslas? They were
Yes,
supposed
yeah, I am hip. I know people who drive them, and you got some people that's just happy enough with it that they're still determined to even go buy it after, say, like being in a situation where they're driving Uber and leasing it, or renting it or what have you. They're still pretty much saying they were going to buy a Tesla. But I have been seeing in the news that there are certain others out there, many others, who have had issues with it, especially in the winter.
to. Hmm. Hmm.
So there's been some criticisms as of late, I've been noticing.
Hmm. Yeah, man. Um, yeah, man. So they have this market trade war that's going on for the future: electric cars, solar panels, semiconductors, Wi-Fi emerging, 6G emerging all over the globe, and China and America are scrambling all over the planet to be the ones that you know install this new tech that everybody's waiting
Hmm.
for. But America's thinking up the joint with their version of it, and China is leaps and bounds ahead of us, right? Well, not us, but the manufacturers in America, and America can't
Right.
have that. So any influence of that tech on American people, they're going to try to micromanage and curtail. You know,
Right.
there's also a thing called Project Texas, where China plans to
Mm,
use TikTok information for some really interesting means. You know what I mean? But Riza
mm,
Islam in his video, I don't have the video. You guys can go on Twitter and look at the video. He said that we're so worried about, or the government is so worried about TikTok selling this information. But who were the originators of selling our information? Who started that crap? Who started all this data mining? Who started all this data galvanizing and aggregating and selling it to the highest bidder, selling it to the highest third party um, Fortune 2000 bidder so that they could use it for their nefarious capitalist schemes? That was America.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So that's why I had Riza Islam up earlier. Is he had a whole breakdown of that whole joint that was really dope, but I couldn't find the video. And what I'm trying to do with my computer now is not download so many videos because that just burns away my RAM and mess with my hard drive. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm-hmm.
So but that video is dope. Go check it out on matter of fact, let me put it up. Here it is right here. Riza Islam has his own page on Twitter. Um, yeah, it says China, media manipulation, information control. TikTok is the problem. China is the problem. Russia is the problem. Oh, really? Who sold our data in the first place? Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
yeah. That
mm.
brother get to it, man. That brother gets right to it. So
Yeah, he been getting to it for a little while now. I like that. I like that young brother, man.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You know, I like
mm-hmm,
him. I don't know him, but I like him. You know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And then what's interesting is, remember I showed y'all last week how there were these data breaches by all these companies.
Yeah.
So my position is, you crying over TikTok, but who's gonna fix all the data breach issues by all these American companies? Because all those companies that I read off that were responsible for those data breaches are American companies.
Yep.
So you cry. So during an election cycle, you crying info, and of course there's that too. This is an election cycle, so now they
Hmm.
have to create like patriotism, if you will, right?
Right.
So what better way to do it than make China the boogeyman that's going to steal your information, steal your, you know, your, you know, steal your this, steal your that, use it for nefarious purposes, when
Right.
America's been doing that forever and a day, and none of these data security issues seem to get fixed.
Mm. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, shoot, just like a few months ago, they sent me a letter from a hospital system talking about a data issue there. I mean, TikTok ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but when they gonna get off the crap, get off the seat, and really deal with some of the things that are really going on in the country versus putting on someone else when they got their own dirt and their own thing to fix and their own stuff to curtail. You know what I mean? And do it
Indeed.
in it and do it in time so that people can be ready and available for this election. And I would hold their feet to the fire on that piece. You know what I mean?
Yep. Big
Yeah,
facts.
yeah, man. Um, and another thing is, if you want to start, this whole China, curtailing China sales can, how I was showing y'all last week about how they're gonna start taking cars off the road, and they're gonna make
Hmm.
it harder and harder in different legislative capacities to own a car, drive a car, be mobile. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, if you started with TikTok, then if you open the door to curtailing the free market, starting with TikTok, that may open the door to curtailing the market in other areas. Now, if
Yeah,
you start
like Neo, the electric car China has. You
right,
know, I had investment in Neo because I
okay,
figured, I think I figured things wrong because when Trump was in office and they were blaming China for everything concerning, the pandemic and things of that nature, when they were on their, soapbox with that, I said, all right, you know what? When the Democrats come back in office, they're probably going to be so busy trying to mend broken bridges, social broken bridges with China. Because, with business, certain businesses are never broken, no matter how much somebody talks smack about you, right? So, contract law is the highest law in the land for the most part, especially in the business world. But, I figured, okay, cool. The Democrats come back in, they'll make cool with China, and then Neo's going to go out the roof. Neo has not gone out the roof yet. It's sunk deeper. I'm just sitting
hmm
there like, wow, I miscalculated that whole thing. And there goes my shares.
so I think they make better cars than the electric that are made here. And as a matter of fact, they just unleashed in what do they call that? California. Just last week, they unleashed those self-driving electric cars. And
Oh gosh.
they crashing up everywhere, bro.
Oh gosh. I don't want to see
They
that coming no how.
they crashing up everywhere, my guy. And I'm like,
Oh
yo,
God.
you know what I mean? So and I remember reading or seeing an expose on the electric cars and how bad they are for emissions. Meaning
Mm,
not for emissions, but for the environment because of how much power you have to use to charge them, and then the emissions that comes out of powering those vehicles. It's not as clean. It's actually pretty faulty as far as being a green vehicle. You know what I mean?
mm,
If that's
mm, mm.
if that's what they're trying to promote it as, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. I got some people that would argue that tooth and nail. I ain't gonna hold you up. If I had the bread, I'd have had one by now. You know what I mean? Because keeping it real, I hear what everybody got to say about it, especially those rednecks down south that really don't want to see that electric car coming their way. They really pro gas, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, look, to fully fuel a tank of electric car, a tank for electric car, say like the regular, like sedan might cost like a good $40, $45, right? To fuel one of their sedans, you're looking at like $19. $19. You know what I mean? So I'll be honest with you. I got a brother, a good brethren of mine. He is so pro gas, and I hear him. But look, California already said in 2035 they will not be selling any gas cars in the state of California. All right.
hmm
Certain
hmm
other places may even be 2030, certain other places. But you know how this goes. When one major city does something, the other ones are going to pursue. Just like California was the first one to do the mandate of the shot, of the
hmm
jab, I should say, the mandate of the jab. Then guess who came up next? New York came up with it next, right? They all follow suit. So California is saying in 2035 no more gas cars are to be sold. New York is going to follow suit right behind them. That's how this rolls. So it's coming.
Yeah, man. And
It's coming.
if they want to make these 15-minute cities where cars aren't a factor anymore,
Mhm.
who are they hurting? They're hurting the largest manufacturer of cars over the last 40 years, which is Asia, right?
Yes, sir.
All the Asian countries, right?
Yep.
So what better way to hurt your competition than to
Hmm.
create environments where you don't need cars?
Yeah. When you put it like that, my brother, you're making sense.
So this goes deeper than just, some girls dancing on TikTok or some folks making some entrepreneurial moves on TikTok or, some
I'm
little
making.
goofy things going on TikTok and selling the information and they've been selling information. And
Mhm.
we got so many Asian products in our houses right now, from cars
Mm-hmm.
to TVs to computers to
Mm-hmm.
iPads, iPods, stuff that ain't
Mm-hmm.
even working no more, but it still might be transmitting somewhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the devices on the motherboard, they still might be receiving hits,
Yep.
on the motherboards, but it might not even be. You may not even use it anymore. So if you got an old iPod or old, first year iPad or any of those old devices, you know what I mean? Even an old
Mm-hmm.
video game, you know what I mean? All of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff is China made, China branded, increases the strength of the Asian countries to be superior
Oh,
economies
for real.
to the United States.
Oh yeah.
So this goes
Oh yeah.
deeper than um and all that time that they've been putting plastic and electronics in your house, they could have been bugging you to death. All that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that time.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do it. TikTok wasn't the culprit. They could have been doing it that entire time, you know, buy yourself
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
set of speakers, and right inside of the chip of the speaker is some sort of transmitter. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
That could have been going on some type of locator or whatever. That could have been popping
Yeah.
off all this time. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, so what's interesting um about this whole thing from another note is the solar panel piece. So, the DEI of it all, the WEF of it all, right? They want to talk about making the world super green, super clean, and China's kicking their butt in that regard. Because when they put the solar, you got solar in your space, or
No,
you operating off of regular electricity?
regular electricity.
Yeah, me too. I want solar though, I really do.
Me too. Me too. I want solar.
Yeah, I'm not sure that because I don't want an electric bill anymore, but the
Right.
solar that's put up here in the United States only offers 200 gigawatts, but the
Oh,
solar that China offers 600 gigawatts. How about that?
wow. That's a lot.
Yeah,
See,
and what
that's the thing. That's
and
the
what better way to eliminate the competition than to begin a spiral of trying to cancel out their products in the United States? First is TikTok, then it's the electric vehicles, then it's the solar panels and the semiconductors, blah 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 blah. They're even
hmm
they're even fracking into places like Arkansas for lithium and cobalt because they know China got Africa locked up digging for all that China and cobalt. You know what I mean? To power all of the computers and the watches and the cell phones and the this and the that, all the electronics powered by that lithium and cobalt. You know what I mean?
Mm. Mm.
How they make the
Wow.
batteries for the computers and all of that, The
Right.
internal batteries is what I'm saying. So,
Yep.
there's more than meets the eye, young people. Don't think that this is just them taking away your ability to shake your butt and dance a little bit and cut up a little bit online. This goes way deeper than, you know, what you're hearing. So, do your due diligence, read alternative news and information, and please stay in tune and be aware. You know what I mean? So you know what's going on. Watch the Real HD show. And I'm not on TikTok only because I can't do that much editing to these videos, bro. Like you see, this is
Ah,
an hour and a half long show right now. I be
right.
sitting up. I need a team. I need like 20 people around me to do that much editing. I can't do that much editing. Plus work, plus take care of a family. That's a
Yep.
lot. You know what I mean?
That's a lot. That's a heavy load.
Yeah. So unless you're a person who loves to put 3 minute, 10-minute videos together and pump them out, hey, hit me at vic7 at gmx.com and let's get on the Real HD team and let's do these. If you like this information, you like I get down, you like what we do, help a brother chop these videos up and make them, small, bite-sized joints so everybody can
Mm.
see them and they can spread it. I just don't got the time. I don't.
I hear
I
you.
can't, I don't have the time to sit there clipping, and I did it a couple of times. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, this is freaking exhausting, B. I can't. This is not gonna happen on a regular basis because the folks are just gonna have to. It's almost like reading a book. You're gonna have to just read the book.
Right.
Watch an
Yeah,
hour and a
exactly.
half. Get really informed. Take the time.
Yep.
That sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So we are at that hour. We are at that hour and a half. I want to thank Brother Godspeed for coming on. That's my soul brother, like no other brother from another mother. That's my homie. So he always comes on and shows love to the show. I want to thank him for coming on. I know brother Mozzie is probably, occupied with his festivities. So salute to you, brother. Happy solar returns. And many more long live. If that's the case, I heard that was the case. So if it is, long live to the brother. And hopefully we see you on Wednesday. And hopefully we see you guys on Wednesday on the Real HT Show. Peace and walk with power. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show. And tell a friend about the show. Turn on your notifications. Give a comment. Give a like. Subscribe. Tell the people about the show so we could be a part of the show and have a higher discussion. All right, y'all. We out, man. We'll see y'all on Hump Day. We out.
Indeed. Peace.
Peace, y'all.